Tōtaranui, Queen Charlotte Sound, its fabulous geology formed by tectonic tilting, seas rising to drown river valleys. Great navigators came here. One Maori legend says that Kupe, the original Polynesian explorer, fought here against the giant Tefere, octopus, whose thrashing thus created the intricate bays and coves of the Sound. Another legend attributes this geology to the prows and pieces of sunken waka, canoes that came down from the heavens to form the South Island. We reach shore at Meretoto, Ship Cove, sheltered launching and arrival point for traversing by waka the treacherous waters of Rokawa Moana, Cook Strait, between the North and South Islands. There are portage routes, and this land provided food and other resources at a trading crossroads for more than 800 years to various iwi. Captain Cook famously loved this bay, arriving first in 1770 and visiting some 5 times in that decade. To take refuge, repair and refit ships, replenish water and food, and to research. It's striking to imagine tall ships upturned to scrape barnacles from their hulls, a local grass found to be rich in vitamin C and hold scurvy at bay, vegetable gardens planted, pigs kept and enclosed. Ironically, his attempt to keep sheep failed, and Captain Cook thought the place entirely unsuitable for these creatures. It was here that interaction between colonisers and Maori nations was extensive and repeated, first smoothed by the presence with Captain Cook of a Tahitian priest who could converse with the local people. Exchanges were complicated by the import of diseases, misunderstandings, of course, differences of culture. Check our description for a link to a good article. Now our adventure begins here, steeped in the big stories of this place, still surrounded by the same kind of birdsong. Slightly humbled, we step off lightly.
So day 1, and we're about 6 or 7k in already. Whoop. They're big steps, aren't they? Let's get down the side. About 6 or 7k in already, and we've gone on a little side quest because we have found a sign for a shop and a cafe. Highly recommend doing a little side trip down to this shop. Excellent coffee, a little range of food, but we're just sort of having our apple and peanut butter wraps, and apparently you don't have to backtrack to get back to the main track. They've got another track that leads up to the main track. Apart from that, just gorgeous view. nice lady at the coffee shop, great coffee by the way, said to come up through this way so we don't have to backtrack to get to the main track. Did I say all that before? I remember saying track quite a few times in a sentence. Anyway, quite like walking up through farms, bit of farmland. Oh. And there's...
Leave gates as you find them.
Leave gates as you find them.
We got time before you hit the road. Without you here, I'm just another John Doe.
Magnifico. Oi. I can't turn it anymore. I don't know what that took a photo of. Probably a groin. Whoop.
Getting lost is time not wasted, as long as it's with you. Unknown roads and foreign places that we're traveling through. Getting lost is time not wasted, as long as it's with you.
Whoa!
Check that out. I've never seen anything like it.
What is that? It's fungus?
Yeah, it's a bracket, but it looks velvety.
That's wild.
Velvety and shiny, and it's got spider webs coming off it. All sorts. That is wicked.
So the trail's pretty easy to follow on the Queen Charlotte track. There's not many trail markers, which it's not needed. There's not much option. We can either go forward or we can go back. It's just such a glorious little track. So far on day one, the weather has been kind to us. There's been plenty of bridges. The bridges are always good.
Getting lost is time not wasted, as long as it's with you.
That's the first look at our accommodation for tonight. Furneaux Lodge.
Furneaux Lodge is named after Mount Furneaux, which in turn is named after a British naval captain who sailed and planted gardens here alongside Cook. Tobias Furneaux was the guy who released boars and sows in the area, and wild pigs around here are now known as Captain Cookers, but maybe they should be Captain Furneauxers. The lodge was a house built and owned by a Scottish biscuit-making factory, the Howdens, and they can be credited for conservation of much of the surrounding old growth forest, having bequeathed a lot of land for scenic reserves over their generations. Good on them. It's only accessible by boat or on foot, and it closes for the winter. We're here in the final week of the season, so we feel really lucky to have had a brilliant day of walking in spectacular weather.
There's a big group that went past us, and I joked to Kath, I was like, oh, they're going to get all the rooms. That's cool, because then we'll get upgraded. And guess what's happened? We got upgraded.
We were meant to be in like a little hiker's hut or something, I think.
And we got this.
Got our own little garden, our own little forest view. Look at that.
Oh, and our luggage got delivered. Thank you very much.
Soft hiking business is all right, isn't it?
And they will pick up the luggage tomorrow and take it to the next place too. So I haven't even taken my pack off yet. Look at that. I mean, that's all I'm carrying. And then we've got, it's like a whole other apartment in here.
If it's been a hard day, you get to sit down.
Jesus, it's huge. So, yeah, we've got that. It's about 4:30 now. We've got... I'm going to have a quick shower and then go to the bar. After the bar, we've got a 6 o'clock dinner reservation. Thank you.
Also, we have luxurious hand soaps and body soaps that you're allowed to use them because they don't have the yucky stuff that I'm allergic to that a lot of hotels put in. They're all natural and locally made, and they smell yummy.
So, yeah. On. Day 1 in the bag. Couldn't have asked for more.
With accommodation and food much higher tier than our usual hiking experience, we are left feeling quite poshed up. It's good to relax with amazing views, a cold drink and chats with our fellow hikers. The slack packing is alright,